I think we are good. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Water Polo Dream Big virtual event. My name is Zach Beyruti, and we are here, obviously, to both promote, celebrate, and hopefully at the end raise some money for our men's and women's water polo programs. I'm joined by a multitude of guests. Usually I identify who we're joined by, but we're joined literally by both teams and a number of notable alums over the last few years. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves once their turn comes up. But I just want to thank everybody for stopping by, and I want to thank James for getting this all lined up. James Graham, the head coach of both the men's and women's water polo teams. How you doing, man? Oh, come on, Bree. Can we get people?
There we go. I'm in. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Sorry, I had to give Bree a heart. Bree is usually on it, but for some reason
He
started.
was unmuted when we started. Then
I know. That's why I asked. Like, he wasn't muted. We were just talking to him. But James, you doing well?
Absolutely excited about this event tonight, and glad to see everybody here.
Likewise. First and foremost, tell us about the women's water polo season right now. You have one game left, which is on Saturday at LMU. You're in the midst of this season right now, and how's that going?
It's been a pretty exciting season. Obviously, it's a different season with COVID, but we've been battling in conference, had some good games with some top opponents in the country, and overall, we're in a really good spot. We're tied for first in the conference right now, and we'll see how the last bit kind of progresses. But we like where we're at, and the team's been playing really, really well.
I know this is kind of, you want this to be a look ahead event, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about what this last season was like for you. And I know in other Tiger Talks we've touched on it, but just kind of refresh us on what the last year was like for you going through the COVID pause. Obviously the men's season didn't happen, but can you take us through kind of the mechanics of your schedule the last year and what you've had to kind of navigate?
Yeah, I mean, we were in the middle of last women's season, and then it got shut down in the middle of March, and then so we took almost a complete year off from playing any games, which is definitely odd for me because for me, we're in season all year round because we're with the men in the fall and the women in the spring. So we're always busy, and to have no games for a year, that hasn't happened to me since like 1991 or something. So it had been a long time, but we used the opportunity because anytime there's like a change in rules, a change in the way things work, there's just always opportunity in that for people to come out ahead because things, you have a chance to adjust and adapt faster than other people. So we as a program try to look at it that way and find ways to use this year to leapfrog and get ahead of where our opponents are and try to find advantages in our break.
That's spoken like a guy that truly loves to exploit market inefficiencies and get into the analytics. I mean, have you had a chance to kind of take a step back? And I know you're very analytically based, but have you kind of reflected on your philosophies and tweaked them here and there?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, both teams have. We spent some time looking at data, and trying to look at how efficient we were playing. We spent a lot of time on identity and culture and trying to make sure that was as strong as possible. I personally started a podcast. We spent some time talking about things like that, read books, watched different shows, and really kind of went into a case study on what it's like to be an elite athlete and what that means. And so both teams have really been, diligent about trying to find a way to become the best programs we could be. And during COVID, the best we could do was get our mental game sharp.
How about recruiting for both the men's and the women's teams? How has that changed? How have the dynamics of that changed in the last year?
Yeah, obviously not being able to bring people on campus or going to see people play is different, but we also do a lot of international recruiting, and a lot of the international recruiting we do is based on, Zoom type calls, watching video online, not always seeing everything in person. So we had some experience kind of going through this process. So it wasn't a major shock. It was just a change in the fact that we had to do that with everybody. But the programs have been doing really well, over the last decade. So that really helps in recruiting. And I think that we got some great people coming in, and I think both programs are in a good spot for the future. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think got a lot of credit to Joey and Alex, who've also, done a great job helping me out and to the teams.
Yeah, James, kind of lastly with the looking back portion, as far as being able to protocols with getting into the pool the last year. Can you kind of illustrate for us what that entailed? And I know the pool is kind of a different animal than say a basketball or volleyball court or a baseball diamond.
Yeah, in the fall, I mean, it was kind of full lockdown and everybody had to be separated. And we stayed about 10 feet apart, like had a separate lane between everybody, pretty much just did conditioning and skill work that we could do within lanes. We had to, spray down all the equipment every time anyone used anything. It was pretty intense type protocols. And then this in the spring, playing with the women, being able to go out and compete, still really trying to make a bubble and keep ourselves safe, which we have so far, knock on wood. And hopefully we keep that record going and keep everybody safe. But it's really just kind of a balancing act, and the credit to the students, because this is really another level of sacrifice. Student athletes are used to sacrifice. This is a whole nother level to play their sport. What they're willing to do and go through and the rules that they have to abide by to keep themselves, their teammates safe and be able to play games is extraordinary. And so it's a credit to them and just their determination to be a student athlete here.
Totally. I second that. And with that being said, let's meet some of the student athletes. So we're going to start with the team captains on the women's side. We have Brooke Contreras, a native of Whittier, California. Also Truly Dorland from Seattle, and Victoria Tamash from Hungary. How are you all doing today?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, we're good.
Awesome. Nice to talk to you all. All right, I'm going to start with Brooke, and I'm kind of similar questions for all, but Brooke, can you give us an update on the current season you guys are going through? By the way, 8-5 and 5-1 in conference, and I'll let Brooke get it started.
Yeah, we've had a battle starting conference. We started pretty strong. We just lost one game, but we're excited that we're still 1 in conference, tied with Fresno and San Diego State. So we're just trying to get a win on our last conference and then head into our conference tournament.
I hope you guys do. Truly, how about you? The current season from your eyes, how it's gone?
Yeah, same thing, kind of what Brooke and James said, that we're 5-1. We're doing pretty well. And we're just hoping to get the win against LMU on Saturday. So
hope you do. And I'm just seeing now Victoria is not on yet, so apologies. Hopefully she'll be able to join us. She had another obligation, so she knows that she's going to jump on here. Hopefully, if she has the time to do so, we'll catch up with Victoria. Maybe it's going to be on the back end, but it's convenient because Truly and Brooke are together, so they can just jam with us for a few. I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned, but you're all seniors, all 3 captains. Can you all reflect on the careers you've had? And Truly, I'll give you the floor first this time.
Yeah, it's gone by fast. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just been kind of a whirlwind. I've been here. This is my 5th year. I redshirted my senior year with Vitsa and Mariana. And I mean, overall, it's been a great experience. I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Brooke, same to you.
Yeah, I mean, I was here 4 years. I didn't redshirt, but it's been a crazy ride. 4 years really goes by fast. But I'm glad to be here, and I just want to get another conference win.
Is there going to be, and I guess I'll alternate. I'll go with Brooke this time. Are there going to be any emotions the last regular season game that you're playing here on Saturday?
I hope not. I'm not one to show emotions, but Truly might cry.
Oh, really? Oh, calling me out. No, I mean, obviously.
Truly, it's okay. No one's going to judge you. The last regular season game.
I think it's definitely emotional, but I think having GCCs here at home kind of makes it a little bit sweeter. So it's not like our last game.
Does the home pool, and I'm gonna ask James after you both answer, but does the home pool translate the same way like home court does, or home field? Is there an advantage playing in your home pool?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think it definitely gets our team more amped up to play games, and also like we don't have a crowd this year, but I still think that the environment without fans is still a good plus.
Brooke, anything to add?
Yeah, I think it's nice that we have our entire team there, and our energy really feeds off the bench. So when we're all there just putting our full effort in, it's way better at home.
James, I guess I'll frame it to you this way. Say, it would feel like a neutral site if there are no fans. Does the home pool effect still come into play in your mind?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it really comes down to being comfortable, being able to sleep in your own bed, being able to cook and eat for your whatever you want that night. And so I think there's some comfort to it that makes you not necessarily worried about other things and being able to focus in on just the game. And then typically when you have fans, our venue I think is one of the best venues to play a water polo game because our fans are amazing and crazy and rowdy.
Yeah.
And the intensity and the pressure they put on the opponent and the officials, I think is great. So we'll miss that a little bit, but we got a lot of spirit.
Yeah, hopefully soon we'll have that all back. Thank you all for answering, and we'll circle back if Victoria can join us and make sure we chat with her. I'm going to jump over the men's side real quick and interview and introduce the men's team captains, Eli Lule from Huntington Beach and Christian Murphy from Granite Bay. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing well. I hope you are too.
Cool.
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. I want to ask you both about getting through COVID. Eli, I'll start with you. How did you train, and were you able to get in the weight room and get in the pool at various times?
Initially at the beginning of COVID, I was like everybody else, so like pools and everything got shut down. Just kind of had to take advantage of any opportunities I have, and I was kind of lucky and fortunate enough to live close to the beach. I was able to get some ocean swims in and things like that. And I had some weights at home, so I helped a little bit, but I definitely couldn't do everything to like the fullest.
Is training in the ocean? I mean, is there something to that? I know it's way different than training in a pool, but for a water polo player or a swimmer, does it help you to be able to have, fight those currents and train in the ocean?
I think so. I mean, it's definitely like you said, a lot different than swimming in like a pool or something like that. But yeah, I would say like it helps. There's like currents and things like that, and the water's a lot colder. But it's definitely was like it is what it is. I just had to make the most of what I could do.
Christian, how about you as far as training and getting through the last year?
Yeah, so I actually, I'm from Sacramento, California, so I was not very close to the ocean, but my buddy had some weights in his garage that I was able to go. I worked out with him a lot. I did a lot of running. And then as for like right now, we got a good group of guys in Stockton right now. St. Mary's is open, their pool is open, so we got some guys going there doing some workouts right now. So obviously it wasn't ideal in the beginning, but kind of like Eli said, I was able to make the most of it with what I had available.
Sure. I'll start with Christian here. Can you give us an outlook for the fall of 2021 and what the team is shaping up like makeup wise?
Yeah. So, well, in 2019, after, a tough loss to Stanford, that was one of the great seasons we had in the program's history. And we graduated 5 really good seniors. But I think we got a really good core group of guys still that, are stepping up. And then I've been told we got some good guys coming in as well. So I think it's definitely a positive outlook, definitely positive vibes for next season, with the whole team in the program.
Eli, how about you as far as an outlook for next year?
I mean, I think we're all pretty excited to like more so to like be playing games and things like that because it's been a while. We've been out of competition for a while, but most of us have. And I think we have like a really good group of people, and I think we're excited to start playing games finally.
Eli, I'll start with you here. As far as coming off of that, the national runner-up in 2019, how now a year? I mean, what is going to be like 2 years removed, basically? Is there any momentum still left over from that amazing season that you can kind of channel into 2021?
I definitely think there is. I think we had a lot of highs and lows that season as a team, but I think we could take a lot of the good things from that season and implement it into this upcoming season and try to get back to the national championship game.
Christian, same question for you. You brought up that finish in 2019.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously that one stung a little bit. But as Eli said, it's definitely good motivation. I know for myself, whenever I'm working out, particularly in the weight room, that's kind of what I think about. So yeah, although it's a couple of years removed, I still think that's really good motivation for us, at least for me personally. But I would think I speak for the rest of the team as well.
I can imagine. James, you want to hit on that real quick, just to kind of put a bow on it, as far as finishing the 2019 season the way you did, having that run, the national runner-up, and then having to kind of sit on that for 2 years. Like, I don't know what plays more in your mind, the fact that you made that run to the national championship game, or the fact that you didn't win it? Like, how does that weigh in your mind?
I mean, both, but I mean, the second that game was over, I remember having a meeting with a few of the guys in a hallway, and we were already talking about our plan to win it in 2022. This next year is going to be a great year for us. Like the guys said, we have a lot of good recruits coming in. We have a great group returning. I think we've reloaded it really well. I think our starting lineup is as good as anybody's in the nation. I'm super excited about what they have. And then I also think that we have a determination. I think 2019 will be a motivating factor for this group for years to come. And so to me, that is one of the great things that came out of that season. Is not just what we did, but that loss at the end is kind of fueling us every day.
I bet it is. All right. I don't see Victoria yet. So again, we'll circle back. Hopefully she'll join us, and we'll give her the floor. But right now I'm going to throw it to James, and I kind of want you to give us kind of the lay of the land on the all-decade teams, and why that came about, how it came about, and why it's important to you and to the program.
Yeah. So, I mean, we wanted an opportunity to be able to recognize a number of the great athletes that have come through this program over the last 10 years. And obviously, you know, there's a timing for when you could do the all-decade team. You can't just do it at any point in time. And so this is the perfect timing to be able to do that and to showcase some of these great players on both the men's and the women's side. And I feel like, you know, the all-decade team, we call it the all-decade team, dream team, is because, you know, realistically, that's the dream, is to become one of those great players and to help propel a program forward. And each one of those players, not only whether they made blocks or scored goals, but they helped make the program what it is today. And so, you know, they really are kind of like they live the dream, and they're part of the dream team. So.
Well said. Before we're gonna, I think, have Alex share his screen here shortly. We're gonna introduce the all-decade teams. If anybody has questions, you can submit them through the chat. You start thinking about them now, but we'll get to those questions as we round the home stretch, kind of in the last 10 minutes. But if anyone here has questions or comments or what have you, you can feel free to submit them through the chat. For now, I think we're going to throw it to Alex, and we're going to hear about who is on those all-decade teams.
Yeah, so I'm going to announce the women's all-decade team, the dream team. I'm very excited about this. Got a ton of votes in, and looking forward to unveiling it right here. First up, Kira Christmas, playmaker. One of the most impossible players to guard in all NC2A's water polo. Mariana Duarte, attacker. One of the most creative shooters we've ever coached. Carolina Halavata. She has got so much energy and aggressiveness. She is the Czech scoring machine. Anna Kurtish, player from Hungary. Amazing all-around player, offensively and defensively. Rachel Krieger, center and defender. She was a force inside, in front of the cage at both ends. Elise Martin, one of the craftiest, smartest players we had. She could play any position out on the perimeter, made things happen, utility. Michelle Relton, also Michelle Obert, goalie. And the big quote when she was here, Michelle says no. Gracie Smith, center, probably one of the most explosive centers we've ever seen. Hometown from Stockton. Victoria Smotic, attacker, brilliant passer, creative shooter, and just brought energy and fire. Dara Tarahara, utility player. I didn't get a chance to coach her, but I watched her score goal after goal after goal. And that is your women's all-decade dream team. Congratulations to all of them. Spectacular players, and all changed the program. So huge shout out to every one of them.
Tell us about the who said no, by the way?
Michelle,
yeah. Tell us about Michelle says no.
So when she was here and she was in the cage, she made so many saves that eventually the crowd, every time she would make a save, the whole crowd would just yell, "Michelle says no." So it was kind of the Dikembe Mutombo finger wag, so to speak.
That's
it was
awesome.
pretty fun.
That's awesome. Congratulations to all the players who made that team. That's fantastic. I think we're gonna go right into the men now. By the way, James, thank God you're doing this, because some of the pronunciations you nailed, and I for sure would not have. So, thank you.
All right, the men's all-decade dream team. Excited to see who got this here. This is a tough vote. First up, Ege Cholak, center. That guy gave everybody a ride. He was like a merry-go-round. Everyone got a spin. Bala Sherade, playmaker. One of those guys that goes 0 to 60 in like 0.1 second. Tom Conning, he was a sniper for UOP, goals after goals. Alex Malkus, one of the greatest goalies, first team All-American. He was a wall. Alex Obert, utility, truly. He played every position except for goalie, and he's now a current national team member. Luke Pavlard, utility, left-handed player, but really did every single thing for us. Alexander Petrovich, phenomenal center defender, great perimeter shooter, controlled the defense. Ben Stevenson, attacker, one of the craftiest shooters we've ever had in the program. Devin Thumwood, attacker and defender. He played center defense for us in his senior year. Goran Tomasevic, center, and one of the most explosive centers, but also play center defense. And that is your all-decade dream team for the men.
Awesome. Congratulations. I know, James, you had you had some special teams that made up that those players made up. I mean, some really, really special teams that I think changed the trajectory, maybe not only of the program, but of your career as a head coach, right?
Absolutely. Those players, I mean, they really, it's not the coach, it's the players that get the job done out there. And all those players on the men's and women's team, they made the program what it is today. All the credit goes to them. And it was absolutely fun, exciting, and challenging to be around them every single day. And those are the kind of athletes you want to be with. So many great stories.
Did they match your fire and intensity, which is tough to do?
Yes. Every one of those players is an outright competitor. Everyone had, everyone showcased it in a different way, but they all had the fire.
I did see some of those players play, and I can second that. All right, we're going to talk to some of these student athletes now, and some former student athletes. I think we're gonna go with James. You want to go with the women first? I know you're going to talk to the women, or do you want to? I know the men are pre-recorded. It's your call.
Yeah, we can go with the women first.
Okay. And Kira Christmas, Michelle Obert, and Gracie Smith. So James, this is all you, man. Take it away.
All right, Kira, Gracie, Michelle, how are we doing?
Good.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming on, and congratulations on being named to the all-decade dream team.
Thank you.
So if you could each kind of go around and introduce yourself, name, graduation year, what degree you got here, and what you're currently up to, we'd love to hear. Kira, you want to start, and then maybe Gracie, and then
Sure.
Michelle.
Okay. So I'm Kira Christmas. I graduated in 2019. I got a degree in sport management, and currently I'm in Montreal training with the Canadian national team to go to the Olympics.
Awesome. Gracie?
Sure, yeah. I graduated in 2016 with a degree in English. However, I now work in mental health. I got my master's in counseling psychology, so now I'm a therapist, and yeah, that's what I do.
Awesome.
For sure.
Michelle?
All right, so I graduated in 2015. I got a degree, I guess a dual degree in biology and chemistry. And I am currently finishing my second year of internal medicine residency in Tucson, Arizona.
Awesome. Thank you. Could you each maybe share one of your favorite memories or experiences with us that you feel comfortable sharing or is appropriate for this group?
Appropriate, that's the word.
Well, how about we go in reverse order this time? Michelle, you want to lead us off?
Sure. I guess the thing that stands out to me was probably going to watch the men's team play in the NCAA finals at Stanford. That was like, it was just like an unforgettable environment. Everyone was super hyped to watch that game. I think we all there was like buses that went from UOP to Stanford with just like fans and students. And then most of us like from the women's team drove out. So it was a really good time and a great game, obviously, but that'd probably be it.
Very cool. Gracie?
For sure. To be honest, I really struggled with this question, but just now I think I landed on it. And to be honest, I wasn't even playing at that time, but it was my senior year, and the girls in 2016, and the girls had worked so hard to overcome like a ton of barriers, and they still made it to the conference championships. And although we lost, I'll never forget that day, and just being on the sidelines, wearing a camera on my forehead, just making sure that everything was documented and that everybody was pumped. And even though I wasn't in the pool that game, I will never forget that day.
Wow. That's great. Kira?
Yeah, that's a hard question. There's so many good memories, but I think I'm going to say two because you just reminded me of one. But the first one is when we broke into the top 5. We had just beat Michigan and UCI. That was just like the best feeling ever. A second one is just from like general practices. My first year, I came in and I got injured, so I was medical redshirting. But when I got back to playing, I was always on the second line, and James would be trying to run plays with the first line, and I just was always trying to mess him up. And one day he was just like, "God damn it, Kira, why do you keep doing this to me?" And it was just hilarious.
Doesn't sound like James at all.
I do remember that. What's your dream for UOP Water Polo, ladies? What's your dream for the programs?
Ooh, I'll start since the other two started last time, and I've been in the middle. So I would say that my biggest dream would to be able to see our women continue to elevate their game in the pool, as well as seeing support from outside of the pool, making sure that holistically the student athlete is present and performing in all ways optimally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I genuinely believe that that would be a huge benefit to all athletes that are currently playing and those that graduate afterwards.
Great.
Yeah, kind of to piggyback off Gracie, I'd say probably, I mean, for the men and women both, just to stay, highly ranked. Obviously, every program wants that, but it's been really cool to kind of watch them grow. I mean, I've been like living in the books and in the hospitals for the last few years, just kind of trying to watch any game that I can, get my hands on any water polo that I can. And it's been really cool to watch the program kind of progress and grow. So continuing to move in that direction.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just being at UOP the last 5 years, it was great to just see the progression of the two programs. And I think just being able to maintain that level and consistently be competing for a national championship.
Awesome. So you all took some time to be a part of this this evening, which I really appreciate. Why did you feel like it's important why do you feel like it's important as alumni to be a part of this Big Dream campaign and take part tonight?
I guess for me, when girls kind of graduated that I had played with and they kind of came back and came to games and things like that, it definitely hyped me up to play. So I feel like, you know, we're known for having like great fans and a great atmosphere during games. And I think having alumni stay involved as they leave the program kind of keeps that going and keeps the environment good at games. I mean, obviously post COVID, I hope that we can get back to having big, you know, alumni games and big gatherings and having everybody come out and watch.
Me too. Gracie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go,
Kira.
Gracie.
Whoa. Hey. No. Go ahead, Kira. Go ahead.
You know, Pacific is a smaller school and we can't always compete with the bigger schools and everything, but I think one really unique thing about Pacific is water polo is one of the biggest sports, and we've become an exception to that big school, small school kind of thing. And I think it's brought a culture not only to Pacific, but to Stockton as a whole. And I think that's really important to just keep supporting the program by bringing the alumni back. So I think all of that support comes from the community and comes from the alumni, and it's really important in the success of our program.
Yes, and yeah, so with Kira, what she was saying is basic piggybacked onto what I'm saying is that I don't think that longevity of a program is possible without alumni support, because then it becomes hyper focused on the team that's existing when their job is to perform and to play games. Whereas the lens shifts to the alumni where you need to be supportive of the game that you helped curate. Because I came at the beginning of James's coaching tenure there, and I think I was his very first year, in fact. So I can stand here on the very other side of it a couple years now saying that I do feel a need to be more involved. I do feel a need to find a way to still support the girls here, especially as a resident of Stockton still. You know, I could easily pop over. But ultimately, the longevity of the program and the continued, like, high quality recruits will not happen if there's not alumni support.
That's awesome. Well said, ladies. Thank you so much for coming on this evening, and congratulations again on the all-decade team. All three of you, unbelievably well-deserved. And
Thank you.
I really
Thank you.
loved having you guys as part of the program and really appreciate your continued support. So thank you so much.
Yes, no problem. Thanks for having me.
James,
yeah, thanks for having us.
before we jump into the interviews with the men, can I ask Kira how the training's going for the Olympics and what this last year is? I know we had a Tiger Talk where we had you on, I think, like almost a year ago. But what's this year been like getting ready for the Olympics?
Oh my gosh, it's been crazy. We have been in Montreal since August. So the last time I was on here, I was quarantined at home and training in my pool that I made myself. So now we've been back. We're 100 days out to the Olympics, and our team is basically isolating from everything so that we can do contact training. And we can't really travel right now because of the 2-week quarantine when we come back to Canada. So we've been scrimmaging against the men's national team, and we've just been doing everything we can to prepare our best. So we're getting really excited.
Cool. I was going to ask you what the protocols were. I mean, I know this is like night and day, but just even in the WCC tournament for basketball, like they were so strict with the protocols. I can imagine for the Olympics, they're even stricter than that.
Yeah, we haven't heard actually a lot about the Olympics. We don't have a lot of information so far.
Oh, wow.
We've just been kind of hearing rumors and as much as the Canadian Olympic Committee can tell us, but Yeah, the layout is going to be totally different, and it really makes me want to push to go to 2024 so I can have another experience without COVID.
Sure. Well, good luck, and just know we're all going to be pulling for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we actually have another teammate of Kira's and who's on the team currently, Clara. She's training for the Olympics with Kira right now. And so we wish them both the best of luck.
Totally.
Thanks.
All right. I think we have a video for the men, right, James? Or maybe Alex will be the one to answer this.
Yes, we do.
Okay. And I think if we're good to go, we can fire that up right now.
All right. So excited to talk to all three of you guys tonight. Thanks so much for coming on and congratulations on being named to the All-Decade Dream Team. I would love it if each one of you can go around and introduce yourself with your name, graduation year, what degree you got, and what you're currently up to now. I'll just kind of start on my screen on the top. We'll go with Devin first.
Hey, well, thank you. It's an honor to be named to the All-Decade Team. It's fantastic. Obviously, my name is Devin Thumbwood. I graduated in 2017 with both my bachelor's degree in accounting and my master's in accounting. Currently, I actually love Stockton so much. I ended up staying in Stockton, working for the Stockton Heat, director of business operations with the team. They're the minor league affiliate of the Calgary Flames, so kind of tie in back with my hometown team. And yeah, it's been great.
Awesome. Obert?
Yeah, my name is Alex Obert. Again, just like Devin, honored to be named to this team. I'm currently playing professionally in Dubrovnik, Croatia for the club Jug. I'm playing Champions League and also still playing on the national team with Mr. Stevenson down there. At the same time, I'm also in business school full-time at University of Arizona, so I'm balancing those two things, but enjoying it. Graduated UOP 2016, I think. Ended my water polo career 2015, I think. I had an extended stay, but it was the best 6-7 years of my life, and just looking forward to this.
And your degree was in?
Oh, my degree was in engineering management.
Great. Ben?
My name is Ben Stevenson, and I graduated from Pacific in 2018 with a degree in finance and economics, degrees in finance and economics. I am currently playing water polo out in Athens, Greece for a team called Glyfada, or Enog is technically their name, I guess. But I'm also studying to get my degree in finance and accounting right now from DeVry University. And yeah, it's an honor to be on this team. I know some great players who came through the program, and yeah, thanks, guys.
Awesome, guys. If each one of you can maybe share one of your favorite memories or experiences here at Pacific that is possible to be shared with this audience, I would appreciate it. Anyone got one off the top of their head?
Oh, sure, I can name one. Just playing in the national championship my freshman year was a privilege, I guess, for all the guys who put the work in before me. That was a pretty awesome experience. Yeah, definitely.
I can go. Obviously, the national championship, like Ben said, was unforgettable. But going back a little bit farther for me was the final game of 2011 was my freshman year. I think it was the first game that James actually trusted me. So he played me a bunch and I scored 2 goals. And I think it was the 7th place game of MPSF, but I still think back to that game and kind of like, that's when James trusted me. And then my career kind of took off after that point. So it was a fond memory.
I'd say my favorite memory, it's kind of a toss-up between the whole senior season of 2017. It was just our last year there, both Ben and I, and we just had a blast playing a kind of new system. Honestly, it was so much fun. I was playing a new position, playing a center defender as a guy who's 5'11", probably not ideal in the traditional water polo world, but I got to go up against guys like Ben Halleck and stuff and just say screw it, which is awesome. Also 2015, I think getting to play a part of that team. with Ober and guys like Petrovic and other guys too. We had a really talented deep team there, and one of the best teams in the country. That was a lot of fun. It was kind of my breakout year then too. So those are probably my 2 favorite memories.
Very cool. Yeah, I remember all those things. A lot of hard work, but man, those games, those moments, they're the best. What's your dream for UOP water polo? What would you love as alumni and guys who've come through the program to see UOP water polo manifest into or become or continue?
I can start. I think my dream is just for the program to go on the path that it's been going. From when I started in 2011, it was kind of just like a pipe dream that we would compete with like the Big Four every year. And that year we had the talent to do it, but we didn't actually do it. And then throughout my time, I was able to see the progress that we made from going all the way through up until 2015, where we were consistently competing with the top 4 and beating them. And I think just continuing that path is my dream for the program. And I think James has done a great job with that. And you can see like in the team in 2017 that Ben and Devin run, they continue that exact same thing. So just going on that continuous path of competing every single year for national championships and getting the respect that UOPs deserve.
Yeah, to add to what Ober just said, I'd say the dream for as an alumni looking at the team now, the dream obviously has to be winning that national championship, and the team's done so well. We were competing for the national championship this past, I guess 2 seasons ago now, and again we were competing for it in 2017, almost made it in 2015, and obviously we were runners up in 2013. And for them to finally go and get that would be really clutch, and just the continued support from alumni. I remember going to Cal Berkeley games and games at Stanford, and all of the UOP alumni showing up to those games and continuing to support the team really meant everything to the team. And I guess that would be the dream, of just continue to grow support for the team, and hopefully they win the national championship soon.
Yeah, definitely. Just competing with the top other schools, I guess, getting the best recruits, continue to keep trying to get back to the national championship game, because we're going to win one eventually. I know.
Yeah, right. So you guys took the time to be a part of that, be a part of this tonight, which I really appreciate. Being a part of this event. Why do you feel like it's important as alumni to get involved in this Big Dream campaign? Why do you feel this is critical?
I think it's super critical because like the alumni support and the UOP family is what makes UOP different. What makes it different than all of the Big Four schools or all the other schools in the GCC. And I can speak for myself, but I'll bet you the other 2 guys think the same, that the family is one of the main reasons why we came to UOP, and to continue and grow that through alumni will just help get even better recruits, and will make for people to continue coming to UOP. And I think it would be a great job for all the alumni to get involved in this group, and I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, I agree with everything Ober just said for sure. The whole family thing, everything that UOP meant to me was everything. I came down to UOP, never visiting the school, not knowing one single person there. And then 4 or 5 years later, I was at Obert's wedding, which was really cool. And then still really good friends, made some best friends that I'm still in contact to this day, all the time. And it was everything to me. And the whole family aspect and still like making those connections is very important. I think it is what separates UOP from every other school, because there are those connections that mean everything to people. And so it's been awesome, and I hope it continues to grow.
Yeah, I just know when I was going to school at Pacific, the alumni showed both myself and the team a whole lot of support, coming out to the games all the time, putting on showing a bunch of support, being rowdy, getting after it. So it was awesome. Yeah. And if we can just continue to grow that, continue that, it'll be awesome to help the success of the program. There you go. Nice.
So we can count on you guys to continue to support UOP Water Polo and help us move forward in the future and get that national championship.
Most definitely.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
Be back next year.
Well, I want to congratulate you guys on the, like I said, the all-decade dream team. It was a pleasure coaching all three of you. And you guys made some of the most exciting moments in UOP water polo history. I still go back, and anytime I get a chance to do recruit presentations, all three of you are always involved in those things. You know, whether it's Oak making a huge turn at Cal, or Devin nutting somebody, and Ben's nasty shots against the Santa Barbara goalie. You know, like there's just clips that every time I watch, I can't but smile, get pumped up, laugh. Like it's always fun. And so really appreciate you guys jumping on today and being a part of the team and continuing to be a part of the team, because that's really what it is. Like, I think that's what you guys spoke about, is that the alumni have been so much a part of the team through your experience, and we need to keep that going and make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And I appreciate you being again a part of this event tonight. So thanks so much, guys. And I wish you continued success out there. Keep it up.
Awesome.
Thanks, James. You too. I think Obi's got another year of eligibility if you look hard enough.
Well, then I'm
There's
gonna
probably
look.
a purple shirt or something around.
Yeah, there's something dragging out of the closet there.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. James, you might have a second career, by the way, if you ever want to be an interviewer. That was great stuff, man.
Well, thanks. Just taking a stab at it, so I appreciate it.
Great job. All right, we do have before I get to back to James and kind of what we want to do here, we have Victoria, who's finally been able to join us. Victoria Tamash. I'm trying to find her on my screen. She might be on another. Victoria, if you're on camera.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
There you are. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. Thank you. I just definitely wanted to get you involved, since you were one of the team captains we didn't get a chance to hear from before, but. Give us a little update on the season. I know you guys are playing your final regular season game on Saturday against LMU, but from your vantage point, how's this season been for you?
Yes, we are playing LMU this weekend before our GCC tournament. That's our last game, and we are very excited about it. I mean, I think we are doing okay. We wanted to beat Fresno for sure last weekend, but we lost. But in the future, in the GCCs, we are sure that we can beat them.
Sure.
And I mean, I think like because of COVID, everything has changed, of course. So we had other like expectations, but I think we could adapt to the changes very quick. And I think we are doing fine.
I think you are too. It's crazy, I'm sure, for you that you're a senior now. Can you tell us what your career has been like at Pacific, and how you ended up coming to Pacific from Hungary?
So after like I was in the world, junior world, and one of the coaches and the Hungarian girl, Nushi, Kertes Nushi, she messaged me that they saw me play there, so they are very interested in me as a player. So I was in 10th grade, and I told them that yes, I'll make it happen. So I started learning English, and I took my test, and also I checked out the school, and I found out that it's a really good school and it has a great water polo program. So I ended up coming here, and I mean, I've enjoyed every year, every moment here, and we've got great wins, and also we won GCCs 3 times in a row when I was here during my 4th year, and yeah, I really enjoyed my time here, and I'm so thankful for this everything, and thanks James and Alex for making this happen.
I'm sure they've been very happy to have you. Real quick before I let you go, are you excited for the GCC tournament coming up?
Yes, I am, and I can't wait to show Fresno what we got.
Awesome. I hope you do. Good luck with that, Victoria. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, we're gonna go to James here, and we kind of want to tie it all together with the Dream Big campaign. Can you kind of give us your vision behind? And we talked about it when we were prepping for this a couple of days ago, but your vision for the Dream Big and why it's necessary, and kind of how whatever we raise here tonight, you know, what it'll be used for in your program building, the continuation of your program building.
Yeah. First, I heard there's a few people online, Devin Thumwood, Tom Conning, Rachel Krieger, that are online. That were on that all-decade team and the Dream Team. And I just wanted to give them a shout out. Thanks for joining us, guys, and congratulations to you for making that team. And hopefully, I'll get a chance to catch up with you guys in the future. But you know what tonight's all about. What we're trying to do here is, you know, in order to be successful, a lot goes into it. And everybody that's been a part of the program in the past understands that, or been part of a water polo program or another sport. And it has to do with the players. Obviously, first starts with the players, but then there's the staff, and then there's all the support and resources that go into it. In order for us to go after big dreams, we have to have the ability to do those things. And part of that is resources and financial support and alumni support. So we want to do this tonight to try to continue to galvanize the water polo community and the alumni, get them together, celebrate some of the great players that have come through the program, and remember that we're all still on this team. The alumni, we're all still part of this team, and everybody can still make a difference on this team. You know, and it's like any season, the next season, your role might change, but you can still make a difference. You just got to embrace your role. And we're asking everybody out there in the water polo community and the alumni to embrace that role and be a part of this and help donate and support the programs so that we can get that big dream that all those athletes just talked about when they sat there and they said, you know, what's their dream for the program? They want to see this program be at the top. And I think everyone that's been through this knows we can. We just need some help, and part of that's everybody on this call right now. You know, we're doing our part here, working, training hard, and we need some people to help step up too. So we're just super thankful of every little thing anybody can do, because it all makes a difference. We know that in the pool, you know, it's the matter of inches that all add up to the win, right? And so whether it's a small contribution or a big contribution, that is pushing us forward as a team, and we appreciate it, and we're going to make sure to turn those dollars into wins.
You know, I've been fortunate enough, as many folks have on this call right now, to have traveled to a lot of campuses and seen, you know, various sports and some very special cultures that have been built with those sports. I would put Pacific Water Polo right up there with some of the great cultures that have been built. And I mean, just look at the type of athletes, you know, with Victoria, you know, coming from Eastern Europe, among others, that have been drawn to Pacific by water polo. And I think, and James, you can kind of reaffirm this. I think naming, you know, an all-decade team and doing things like that, I think that just reaffirms that the type of culture that you have helped build at Pacific. And I think it also, like you said, keeps everybody involved and keeps everybody, even great athletes that have come through in the past, keeps them still present in our minds, even for the student athletes that are currently there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, it sets a standard. You know, you're reminded of the great players that came before you. They set the bar every year. Our job is to try to ratchet it up one next level. It's like, you know, Ben Stevenson said in that interview, he said, you know, one of his great experiences was that national championship game his freshman year. And he credited it to everyone who did the work before him to lay that foundation so he can play in that game. And that's literally how it works around here, you know, is that this culture that all of these great players on these all-decade teams have created, have laid the foundation for what we're about to do in the future. And we're asking them to still stay part of that and continue to help us move forward.
James, last one for you. If I asked you to define what water polo U means, can you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Water polo U is essentially the best place to play water polo in the country. That's what it's all about. We put everything in to making water polo an amazing experience, from what it is for the fans, to the alumni, to the players. We want, when people come to a game, that it's not, people don't come to a game and watch a game. We want them to be part of the experience and take part in the event. And that's really what we're about here. And so that we create an atmosphere that's unlike anywhere else. And I think everyone who's been to a game, and especially a big game, can recognize that. And that's also part of what we try to do. You know, athletes want to play in a big environment. And that's why we're Water Polo U, because we got bands out front, we got tailgates, we got fans climbing fences, we got everything going on, and we're rowdy, and then we put some balls in the back of the net too. So we do a great job, I think.
Hell yeah, man. Let's keep it that way. And let's raise some money to do it. And in that vein, I'm gonna throw it over to Tim Dixon, who's going to tell us about the 48-hour campaign that we have. And then I'm going to come back. I have maybe a question or two to wrap it all up. But Tim, you can kind of let people know how they can go about donating and what's going to be involved in this 48-hour campaign.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. And I'm Tim Dixon. I'm one of the associate athletic directors for development. And yeah, I just want to let you know, and listening to James, I mean, I get to hear him talk a lot, but he fires me up every time I hear him. And he's gotten me excited about doing something. And then just hearing all these alumni talk about the great experience and what he's built and what they've built. I don't think we could be any more proud of our program than we are right now. And so what we're doing tonight, obviously with everything going on, we haven't been able to do any fundraisers in person, of what they normally do. And so we put together these 48-hour campaigns. And what we're going to do is we're going to kick it off right now. Bree is going to put the link in the chat, and it's an online form. And what we're going to try and do is raise $15,000 in the next 48 hours. So it'll be $7,500 for the men, $7,500 for the women. We'll split it evenly. And so it's an online link. You can designate to which program you want, keeps track, and it shows where we are throughout the next 48 hours. And we encourage you, if you can do something, that's great. Pass it on to other people, and let's help this program out. I will let you know that, working with James, I've seen when he gets support and what he does with it, he uses it down to the last penny as effectively as anybody I've ever seen. And so you know that any level of support that you give him, he is going to use it, and it's going to benefit our program more than any other program. And so so literally every dollar will make a difference. He will make sure that it makes a difference, and we want to see this success continue to grow and to help them fulfill their big dreams. And so again, that link will be in the chat. It'll be open for the next 48 hours, and we appreciate anybody that is willing to support it. We really, really appreciate it, and congratulations to everybody on this, all the alumni on the all-decade team.
Thank you, Tim. Very, very well said. And if you don't know, if you're not familiar with Zoom, I'm not sure how you can't be by now. But if you scroll your mouse over the Zoom area and go down to your chat and click the chat icon, you will see that Bree has sent out that link, the Scale Funder link. And Tim, you got something to add there?
Sorry, one last fact, an important one. We have had a generous donor step up and with a $5,000 match. So as soon as we get the $5,000, it's going to be matched by $5,000. And this is a former alum, a former player, another person that wants to see this program succeed. So we're really excited about that. So again, once we can hit that $5,000 mark, it'll be matched by $5,000 and get us to $10,000.
And to add to that, we're already off to a great start. We already have 1,177 raised from alumni who couldn't be on tonight. So we already have a great head start. So again, get to that link, and every dollar, like Tim said, counts. Now it counts exponentially because we have the matching funds. So thank you in advance for helping us out. I do have one question before we go, and it is for James from the gallery. You have a very analytical approach to water polo. How have you been able to get players to buy into that, especially players coming from places like Eastern Europe?
That's a great question. I mean, I think when it comes down to it, everybody, when you're presented with information that is diligent and structured in a way where the numbers just speak for themselves, it creates a common language and it breaks down barriers, because a lot of people have different ways they like to do things. But when you look at the analytics, it actually helps our program merge all the different cultures that we have, because we have players from everywhere, all over the United States and all over the world. And so it really helps create a common language on the team. And I think that most of the players, when they come here, we've presented information to them in their recruiting process about us being an analytical program. So I think it is actually something that draws them here as well, because they're interested in that situation. So I think it kind of helps us on a number of different fronts.
Well said. I think we are good. Thank you to everyone for coming tonight. Congratulations again, especially to the seniors and to the men and women who made the all-decade dream teams. Congratulations and good luck to our water polo Olympians that are going to be competing here shortly. And we look forward, hopefully soon, to seeing you out at the pool. And James and the women's water polo team, good luck on the end of your season. We're going to be watching carefully here the next couple of weeks. So congratulations, and go get it done in the GCC tournament. So thank you all. Click on the link, donate, which is in the chat window. And again, it'll be matched. So please be sure to do that. And every dollar counts. Thank you all again, and go Tigers. Water polo, you baby.
Go Tigers.